Hi guys, welcome back. So tonight actually, we are going to move a little bit forward with our project. But before we do anything, just a quick update about how things move forward. I got a little update on project spec. So my wife asked me to build something that she can use to upload a single image, a multiple list of images, or images and videos together, so in a single kind of post, and then just a video. So we will start from this point, but I have also an update on about the technologies that we will use, because since you see last time Laravel 9 was released, so I decided to start using Laravel 9 instead of keep working on Laravel 8. Obviously, we will copy over all the tests that we wrote last time, so that we don't have to start entirely from scratch. So after this update, what I want to do is move to Jira and start defining a basic project roadmap, so we can use that for our future development tasks. And so let's get started. So let's move to coding. And now let me open Jira. Okay. So I'm starting a new project. So this one is gonna be a Scrum project using the original template provided by Jira. Then we will select company managed and assign a project name, which is the series photos. Okay, so the key is going to be SP. I want to connect it with my repositories, but let's keep this a single word. Okay, next. I want the project to be created from inside Bitbucket. So I want Jira to create a repo on Bitbucket and just on it. So let's connect. So there is another project called set of photos. So let's call it Vue3. Save and retry. Okay, so let's go to project. And let's start with a roadmap. So now that the project is inside Jira, we can define the roadmap. Let's say release version 1.0. So that's gonna be the first epic that I want to create, and then inside this epic, let's write a couple of user stories based on what Serena told me. So the first thing we should define as a user story is that as a user, so as a visitor, I want to see all the images uploaded on the website. So as a user, I want to see all images so that I can see your work. Okay. Then we can have another story. Let's say that from the user's perspective, that's pretty much everything we want to do, except that we can have another story, like as a user, I want to see the single image. So when you click on inside or over an image, you probably want to see the image in a full screen. So let's say that. We can refine the user stories later when we start working on them. But for now, let's move on the other side. So on the admin point of view. So as an admin, I want to, of course, you want to register on your platform and then log in. So let's say she only wants to log in and manage login to the site to manage my photos and videos. Okay. I want to log in to the site so that I can manage photos and videos. Then, well, okay, as an admin, I want to add new photos and videos so that user can see them. Okay, let's say that inside this one, the last user story, there is pretty much everything we need to build, sort of. I will define more user stories later, but for now, that's everything I want to define, because before I will actually start my sprint and define the actual tasks, I want first to play around with Laravel 9, Inertia, and actually, as I said, I want to start using Laravel 9, but also use Laravel Sail for my development environment. So let's get to it. Okay, we got a basic plan. Then let's see, we got this backlog, and I will define the sprint later, and then I'll all tasks at some point in the next videos. But for now, that's everything I want to do. We already have a repo on Bitbucket because this software created one for us, which is this one. And then we can clone this locally and then install Laravel using Laravel Sail. Okay, so once we have our repo locally, we can just push it here, and this will update our branch. So now let's figure out what changed actually in Laravel 9 and why I want to use it. So instead of using Laravel 8, that was the plan that I had a couple of days ago. But then I realized, why should I build the project, a new project, a brand new project with Laravel 8 when I can start straight from Laravel 9? So this new release has a bunch of new improvements. First of the one that jumped to my eyes the most is this file system 3.0 update and Symfony mailer. We have some improvements on the HTTP clients, improvement on Breeze, even if we are not, I'm not thinking to use Laravel Breeze. Instead, I will use Jetstream. And by the way, I've been really studying Laravel Jetstream and Inertia in the past few days, so I should be good to go. I mean, at least I know what I am working with. So we just need to play a bit around and see if we got if we have to change our workflow that much. So Laravel 9 is gonna be my choice, and we can just check the getting started and the installation steps. So what I want to do is use Laravel Sail instead of using a local development environment. So I will use Sail, and then from here it says that when we want to use Sail, we can use this command to download a basic Sail build, so a basic Sail Laravel installation, we could pass the query string here and have the option to specify what kind of services we want to include, but I think the default will be fine. That should be MySQL, Mailog, Selenium, and I think Redis, and I think this one is one that by default it pulled in. So let's see the documentation for the Laravel installation using Sail. So that should be the one that I want to run. So this should be the command that I want to run. So getting started on Windows, I'm using VSL2, and then I have Docker desktop installed on my machine, and here that's the command that we need to run. So let's copy that and paste it inside my terminal. Not pasting it. So let's see why you are not pasting it. Okay. All right. Let's copy this again. Okay. I don't want you to install this project with this name. So I want to change these examples app, because this is going to be the actual folder that it's going to create. So the first step is going to be rename this. Let's call it Serie Photos V2, because we already have Serie Photos folder inside this Laravel folder. So let's install it. Next, by the way, I have the latest Docker desktop version installed, because otherwise you could face some problems while trying to start a Laravel Sail, which is the following step. So let's wait for a second that is finished the installation steps, and it's done. No, I'm just joking. I posted the video. I wasn't so fast. So let's cd into this photos v2. No such folder. Okay. Now let's start Laravel Sail using Sail up. And this command, what it does is actually build a container, a bunch of containers actually inside Docker, and then we should just be ready to go as soon as it finishes all these things. So I have Docker desktop here on my computer. Yeah. Docker, where are you? Here we are. Okay. So it's starting these containers. I think the one it's starting is this one. So it says that it is already running. It was pretty fast because I already compiled I already built the image before, so it's pretty fast once you have done these steps for the first time. So now we could just visit the localhost, and I think we should be able to see the Laravel application. And we do. Okay, cool. So now we are using Laravel Sail and Docker Desktop for our development environment. So inside it, there is PHP 8.1, there is MySQL, there is also Mailog, which is a mail server that we will use to catch our emails, so the emails that are sent through the application. Next, let's open up, let's stop this for a second. Let me open up VS Code and then we will start this again from VS Code. So at least we know the application is working, and it was very, very easy actually. You don't need to know anything about Docker. You only need to run this command. So that's quite straightforward. So let's say code dot and wait for VS Code to run. You can close this terminal window anyway. We don't need it. Let's open up VS Code here. And next, we can see all our projects file. So VS Code is starting Windows Subsystem Linux. You can trust the source, and then let's open up the terminal. So you see, we have the Laravel files here, and then we also have a Docker compose file, which is what we need to start all the services inside Docker. So it's already configured. We don't actually need to do anything unless we need to. For some specific reason, we might want to customize these forward, but we don't need them. Why are you so slow? I'm gone. It's still opening the remote. Okay, now we should be good to go. Okay, so let's say again, Sail up. Okay. And let's go back to the documentation. So we can run Sail up like that, and then it says, you see, don't worry, on the subsequent attempts, to start Sail will be much faster. And the complete documentation is this one. Okay, we already done the installation, so we can move to the Sail documentation, and let's see what we need to do. We have this Docker compose file, which is ready to go. We have followed the installation steps. We already done that. We are not installing Sail inside an existing application, so it's fine. We'll move to the next step. Dev container, I'm not sure if we need that. Configuring a bash alias, I already have that, I guess. Let's check if the alias is in place. Okay, let's first double check if the application is working. And no, it's not yet. Let's wait. Still starting all the containers, and now it should be ready, I think. Let's see. Yes, okay. Now it's ready. We can check if I have the sail up command, sail artisan. So instead of running PHP artisan with sail, we use sail instead of PHP because we are running all the artisan commands and PHP commands inside the Docker container. So, okay, I have already configured these, where it is, these alias inside my bash.rc file, and you can do the same, just follow the documentation. So once we have that, we can do sail up to start the container, and we can do sail stop to stop the container. Okay. And if we want, we can run the container in detached mode and say sail up -d. Okay. So PHP artisan is now sail artisan for us. So we can execute composer command using sail composer and then some kind of package. What else? PHP, we can run Sail npm by prefixing npm with Sail, and then we can interact with the database by simply configuring the DB database, which should be actually already configured for us. Let's see. The .m file has a bunch of configuration already in place for us, and this should be already the database configuration inside the Docker container. So we only need to run the migrations for our application, and it should work out of the box. So before we do that, let's install. So every command that we want to run, we simply prefix it with sail, and then it should work. That's what I got from the documentation. Let's say that from the getting started, we want the starter kit, and actually it should be here on the Laravel Jetstream documentation. The installation steps are these one. Okay, we need to run composer require Laravel Jetstream to install Jetstream authentication scaffoldings with Vue and Inertia. So let's say sail, and then composer require Laravel Jetstream. So this command must be executed when we have a fresh installation of Laravel. Otherwise, it will override a bunch of stuff. Okay, let's wait until it finishes. And by the way, this Jetstream package actually uses Fortify for the authentication steps. So Laravel Fortify has a full documentation on the Laravel website, I think, or on the GitHub page. Because yes, this is the official repo for the authentication backend for Laravel, but there should be also a documentation here for Fortify, yes, from the Laravel website. So we have all the information we need about Fortify, how it works, what it registers for us, and I went through the entire documentation step by step. I've checked all the files that it registers, so I got a basic understanding of what it does and how has been what has been scaffolded on my application. So we can just move to the next step, which is, I think, run. So we install the Jetstream package. We now need to scaffold the Jetstream Inertia application like that. So we need to run this command, but instead of using PHP, we need to put sail. So sail, and then the command. And this will install run the artisan command inside the container, and then we can simply check what we got. Let's wait for a second, and then we can go around and check what files we have got from this scaffolding. Right, now we can execute npm install and npm run dev, but we need to use sail. So we say sail npm install, and then we say sail npm run dev. And next, we can also run the migration because the database is already connected, and then we have also all the migrations in here, including those for required for the authentication. So the sessions table has been created by Jetstream. Then we have this table for the personal access token. That is one of the functionalities that we have available out of the box provided by Jetstream. Then we have two-factor authentication also available by Jetstream. And then the standard users table, which is not that much different from what we've got previously, except that it has profile for the bot set up here. So if we want, we can enable multiple features that are initially disabled inside Jetstream, but it is as simple as uncomment line of code to make this new feature available for us. So we have a complete user profile, then we have the two-factor authentication, then we have personal access token, session management, so we can see from how many computers we are actually logged in inside an application and manage their session. Then we have also so Jetstream and Inertia are not actually registering controllers for our authentication steps, but everything is managed under these actions folder, and we have the Jetstream folder, which contains the delete user class that is used, of course, to delete the user. This is a functionality that we can enable or disable. It depends if we want to offer that to customers. Then we have this Fortify folder where Jetstream registers all the classes that previously were registered by the Laravel UI package inside the controllers out, if I remember correctly. Now everything is managed under these classes, and there are a bunch of rules and methods that are used inside them to perform all the basic functionalities like create a new user, validate the passwords that users types in, reset the user password. So this is the class that implements the logic for the user password reset. Then we have this one to update the user password, and then update the user profile information. So we have another class that is used to run the actual update of the user information because Jetstreams provides already a profile section in the user dashboard once the user is authenticated and logged in inside our application. And then what we have also, so we said that we don't have controllers, we have only the basic controller. Then we have models, so we only have the user model, which by default uses a factory. And then we have what else? We have Jetstream and Fortify providers. These are used for registering application services and run a bunch of other stuff. And then the same here for the Jetstream. We can use this method to implement different functionalities and logic that are documented inside the documentation for Jetstream. We will need these files when we need, depending on what we want to do. Next, what else? What else we've got? We've got this fortify.php file, which is a configuration file for Jetstream. We set guard to password to users. So that's the password broker. Then we have user and email. So username and email. These values defines which model attributes should be considered as your application username field. Okay, so the username field will be the email, and then the email is the email. Then the open path, so we can use this to configure the redirect for the authenticated users. Then subdomain, middleware, and then we have what else? Here we have a bunch of features that we can enable or disable. If we want, we can first register an account, and then we can disable the registration steps so nobody else can register but just log inside our application. We can enable the email verification features or disable all other features that are by default enabled, like the two-factor authentication. Let's see if the installation is complete. It is still running Laravel Mix. Let's wait a little bit more. And in the meantime, let's check what else we've got. We've got this Jetstream file, which is the configuration file for the Jetstream. And then also from here, we can enable all the features like terms and privacy policy, profile photos, which is one that we want to enable. We will do that later. And then API features and theme features. So we don't need theme features. We might use the API features that are offered by Jetstream. So it allows us to register an API token and manage API tokens. And then it allows us to have a profile photos and manage the profile photos. So everything, all the entire implementation is already in place. So we only need to enable the feature. And then this feature is to enable or disable. If it's enabled, of course, it will enable the user to accept our terms and privacy policy when he registers an account. Then the default profile disk, so where are the images saved when the user uploads a profile picture. And that's okay. The installation is complete now. So we compiled all the assets, and we also have a scaffolding for Laravel authentication. Let's open the new terminal window, and let's go to the Laravel application, refresh the page, and we should see the registration links up here. But of course, we need to run the migration first, otherwise this won't work. So sail artisan migrate. So our database should be already configured because Laravel Sail does everything for us. And in fact, we have the database correctly in place and configured so we could execute all these migrations. Next, what else? Let's open Tinker and register a fake account. So sail artisan Tinker, and then we can use the factory, I think, and create one user. Let's wait. Okay, so it should be user factory create, and I'm not going to pass any parameter here, no attributes, because the default user should be fine. Okay, so we have this email address. We can use this one to register, to log in, and the default password should be password. Let's refresh the page. Not sure if you noticed, but the Laravel error page has been updated as well. So we have a fresh page for our errors. So password, let's see if it works. Okay, so cool. We have this Jetstream installation back in place. Let me just go over, let's exit from the Tinker interface. Next, what else? We have the node modules. Let's create. So we migrated all the we migrated the entire database. We installed the Jetstream package and the Inertia. So let's create a Git repo, and then in here let's git add dot, and let's say git commit -m, and then we say initial commit. Okay, next I want to grab the repo from here and execute this code. Let me log in. Okay, we are ready to go. Okay, we have the repo ready on Bitbucket, and it is connected to my Jira account. So when we want, we can create a new branch, we can work on that branch, and then we can update the Jira interface. So the Jira project. Okay, so before doing that, let's play a bit around and see what we can do with Jetstream. So first, let's say we have this profile section here where we have the user profile information. You see, there is no option for enabling or uploading a picture here, but we can definitely do that. We have the two-factor authentication. It's not enabled by default, but we can just click here, I guess, and enable it. Then we have this browser section where we can log out of the browser sections if we need, and the delete account. All these features can be disabled if we want, but for now, I don't mind having them. So let's see what is that we are actually doing differently here using Inertia and Jetstream. So the entire application is scaffolded by Laravel inside these resources, JS, Jetstream, and layouts and pages folders. So the first thing that I want you to notice is that we have a route. This route here is pointing to an inertia and specifically it's pointing to a component, a Vue component. And then it shows a bunch of props here that are then passed to the Vue directly by Inertia. And then here we have this route with the middleware out sanctum, which is our actual dashboard. So I want to make a few changes here to create more admin pages so that we can upload images and have all the dashboard protected by this middleware. Next, what else? So it's different because we have this route that is using the inertia class and the render method, and it's rendering a welcome component, which is here. So we have the resources.js, we have app.js, of course, is the main application entry point where a create app has been imported from Vue, and then we create the Inertia app. So we import multiple things from the main packages, these and Inertia Vue3. Then we create the Inertia app, and then we add the Inertia progress bar. But if we look at views, we have a file called app.play.php, which is not referenced by anything except the fact that this file is the one responsible to load the inertia routes, that the router that is using inertia, and then the inertia views components, which are so this blade directive actually replaces will be replaced by a page. This page that we have here, for instance, we have the welcome page, and we have this template. This template should be the one that was served by the other route that we saw earlier. Then we have this dashboard component, which is the component that has been used to render our dashboard page. So this one, not the profile, but the dashboard page, this one. So behind the scenes, we are using different components. So this app layout component is a component defined inside the layout folder, and it's this one. So this is a layout that we can customize as we need. We have this head component, which is actually used by, I think, Inertia to render the title inside the head part of the HTML page. Then we have this link, which is actually the one that it's using the Inertia router. And then we use this route method to check if the route, this name actually exists. So this is kind of what we have done so far with Laravel, but it's not, this is not the route function that we have in Laravel. It's a different thing. Let's collapse some of this stuff because otherwise, so we have a head component. We have this component, which is another Vue component called Jet Banner. And then we have this section where all the cards of our page, all this stuff has been placed. So we import defined components from Vue. We import like application mark, banner, drop down link, nav links. So a bunch of components, including add a link, from Inertia and from Jetstream. So Jetstream here gives us a bunch of components already to use. We need simply to use them if we want. Otherwise, we could also create other components or not use them. I mean, we are not forced to use them. We have this welcome.view component, which actually is the one that renders everything that you see here. So that's the welcome component. That then we have this jet application logo, which is, I think, this one, and also this one somewhere. So yeah, that's the one that we see inside the dashboard. And next we have like navigation links. So you see here inside this nav link component, we are using the link component from, I think this is from Inertia. Let's see if I'm wrong. So we have routing basics, and then here we can use Inertia so to serve components directly and respond to methods. So to routes methods, like you want to visit a page that doesn't need to do anything special except rendering some kind of view, and then we can use this one. Then otherwise we can use this other form inside a controller to render a component. Where are the, that's the route, no, where are the information about the links? Let's check very quickly all the docs and see if I can find it. So we have the inertia render, it's not this one. Pages. Okay, we have this add links. So we have got links, yeah, here we have it. So to create links with Inertia app, you will need to use the Inertia link component. This is a light wrapper around the standard anchor tag, so an anchor link that intercepts click events and prevents full page reload from occurring. So it is actually the one that let us have a single page application experience. Okay, cool. So of course, every time we need to have a link inside our application if we want to offer this single page application experience, we need to use that component. And this component can be used to create post, push, patch, delete routes or anyway links, I think, yeah. And by simply passing this method here, so the method attribute, and then what else? Okay, let's see that we are pretty much ready to create our first page. Maybe let's see. We got an overview of Jetstream. We got an overview of what Inertia can offer. Here what we have two files, policy and MD and terms MD. These files will be those rendered by Inertia once we update or enable the future for terms and privacy policy. We have the JS, so Jetstream, a bunch of components pre-made for us, the layout, and then we have a bunch of pages. So API has folder and a bunch of files. We have all these pages, components that are those responsible to render our authentication views. Then we have these for the profile. So we already said the dashboard. We have this welcome page, but I don't think this is actually standing any layout. In fact, it's just a plain view template here that is using the add component. I think this one is inertia head. Yes, this is the inertia head component, and then it's using some style, and then in the script section it is importing these three components, and then define components that the component is using, and a couple of props. Okay, so nothing really complicated after reading the entire documentation, of course, for both Laravel Jetstream and then Inertia, even if I can't remember everything that I've been reading so far, but I mean, I have a general understanding of everything now. So I think that this is going to be the best choice for our application, because this is the last Laravel version, so the last release, and then we are using the latest technologies that we could use to build single page application without all the burden of actually creating APIs and points, because that's what Inertia is used for. Because behind the scene, it makes HTML, XML, HTTP requests that we can use to simulate this single page application experience. So what else we need to do? Okay, let's say that first I want to enable, let's start by enabling a couple of features. So let's enable the, where is the configuration file for the 45 maybe? We have the registration already enabled. Let's see what happens if I disable this feature here. And let's say we should be able to get rid of the register page. In fact, we only have the login, and then we can type the name of the user that I did not save. Let's see if we got it somewhere. No, we need to go back to Tinker and check what is the user, the email address for the user that the factory has created for us. So factory, I don't know, let's say user find should be one, and the email address is this one. Okay, you can log in with this email address here, and the password should be password. Cool, okay. And now let's try to enable another feature. So I want to see the profile picture. Should be inside the other one, so the jetstream.php file, and here we can enable profile photos. Let's see if it works. Like that. We should already have this profile photo path inside our migration, so it should work. Let's refresh the page. Okay, we have got something. Let's check before we move any forward. Let's check quickly the documentation for the profile management. So enabling profile photos. So it says to enable this feature. Okay, we did that inside this jetstream.php file, and then we need to run the storage link. But it's not going to be PHP artisan, but say so that the user can upload the picture, and actually we can save the picture inside our storage app public folder. Okay, let's see if we've got the option to upload a new picture. Okay, select the photo. Let's select the photo from here. This one. Let's change the name to Arena. Okay, let's save. And I won't remember this email address, so let's have the fake email address and click save. Okay, it seems that it's working, but cannot see this link here. Why is that? It should work as it is, but probably there is something that's is not working. Okay, so it's trying to access the picture using this link, but I'm not using, I've not set up a host inside my computer, so we need to actually change the .m file here, and instead of doing that, we just need to say localhost. Okay, save. The environment file has been modified, so you need to restart the server, and it is doing everything on its own. That's much better than I was used to. Okay, let's refresh the page and see what we got. Okay, we got the picture here. You see, profile picture is up and running, so it's ready to go. Next, what we want to do, we want to add a new page. So let's play a little bit around with pages. So with these Vue component pages, and see what happens. So since we are working with Vue, I should probably run sail npm run watch so that it tracks my changes to Vue components. And let's open up a new file, a new terminal window here. Let's close everything that we don't need. Let's close even this one. Right, so it is compiling, I guess. So we need to wait a little bit. And once it finishes, we can actually try to build the component for our page. So where should be our components? So I think we should place the components on the pages, of course, but let's say I want to render an about page, or yeah, just to try. So an about page, or let's do the photos page. Photos page. So first, what I would do in Laravel 7, for instance, is to create a route. So we got photos page, and then we should return a function, or actually we could have a controller, but for now, let's keep it simple. So we have this closure, and within the closure, I think I should run this one because inertia render will actually render this component, which is detachable component, but I want to change it in about component. No, page photos component. Okay, so I want to render this photos component, but how do we pass data to these components? I need to check the docs later to see what we need to do to pass data to these components, because actually what I want to do is actually pass a collection of photos. Then I would expect to be able to use a V4 to render the photos onto the page. But for now, let's create this component inside the let's do that inside the pages. Let's do guest and then photos. Let's create a new folder. Let's see if it works. Guest, and then we add a new component. We could use this component here. We can copy something from this component for sure. So let's add a photos.view component, and then here we could say view. Why are you not working? It's Vue3 that is missing, I think, a configuration file called Vue3, maybe. Let's do template. Yes. Okay. And then in here we say just h1 and say photos page. So I would expect this component to render and show and be shown if we click like above. And instead we got page not found. Yeah, because it follows. Okay, cool. We've got this photos page, but there is nothing around it. We don't have any, I think we don't have any layout for that, because this is using a, the welcome page is using a template. It's not using a template, so a layout file is using just the standard templating here. So let's see what it does. If we have, so there is a VS and div directive. So if can login is set to true, probably inside the web.php file, we have route as login. So if the route, if there is a login route, it means that this method returns true, and if it does, it means that the user can log in, and therefore we show this link here. Otherwise, and then here there is a VS, but here we have another beef. So we have this beef here that which checks page props user, and I think this one is used to check if the user is authenticated and logged in, and then show the dashboard link. Otherwise, we show the login link. And if the register is enabled, so if the registration is enabled, we show also the registration link. Okay, so I might need only this bit if can log in and show this, otherwise show this without the registration bit. Okay, could grab everything from here. So let me quickly copy this template, this component actually, and check these. Okay, we need, we can keep these, so define component, and then we define the components and we define the props. So Laravel version, we don't need this too. Let's remove also the styles. Oops. Let's remove the styles. Put it back as empty. Okay, then let's check what else. Let's see, everything from here, it's fine, except that we don't need this bit. Why is it? Looks like broken for some reason. I think because what's happening? I'm not sure. Let's see. Let's delete what we don't need first, and then we will figure that out. Right, so all this stuff is for what? SVG for what? I don't need this. What we have here. So this is the main section where all the content goes. So we can collapse this and also this one. Yeah, we got the columns inside the main page. So we could do like H1 here. It's not working. H1 and then say photos. What do we have here? Nothing. Oh, got it. No, it's not saving. Right. So we got this head title, which should be photos. Next, so if user can log in, we show the dashboard. Otherwise, we show the login link. And we said that the registration is disabled, but we might want to keep link up here. We might even want to make a different layout file for that. For now, let's keep it like that. Okay, all the errors are gone now. So let's say what we've got. There are no styles because I deleted them all, but we should see something. Photos. Okay, we see only photos in the middle, and we don't see anything up here. Why is that? If we go to the localhost, so to the home page, we should see here the dashboard link, but it seems I cannot see the dashboard link from the about page. Maybe it was there, but there was no color. So it's a photos page, about page. I keep calling this about page, but we do have something. Nope. There is no link up here. Why is that? So if the user can log in, okay, I got it. I know what it is. So can log in and can register needs to be passed as the second argument here. So we got an array and then we pass this data. So this is how we pass the data to the view, so to the page component. And we could do the same for our posts if we had a list of posts. Let's see if we got the link dashboard now up here. Yeah, okay, cool. So we hit this link and we are redirected to the dashboard. Fine. Let's make a couple more changes. What else? I mean, let's start thinking about our application. I know I'm not yet ready to start the sprint. I just need to keep playing around a little bit before actually starting the sprint, deciding all the tasks that we want to do and so on. So okay, this is how we pass this one, but I want to build a model for photos. And then what I would like to do is like photos and then say like photo all, and that's an array, so we should put a comma. Okay, so that's what I would like to do, and this means that I need to build a database table, but also I need to build a different page for my admin photos area, because we will use this route here to actually render all the photos that we have inside the database, but we also want to render them inside an admin page, so an admin panel in here in the dashboard where Sabrina could manage the picture. So see a table maybe and use the actions to add more photos or do whatever she wants to do on each of them. So let's build something that we could use later on. So for now, I'm not working inside any branch. I'm still in the master branch, but we will stash all these changes and then move into a different branch when I feel ready. So let's say clear, and then let's say PHP, it's not PHP, it's Sail now. Sail artisan make. So everything is the same except that we are using Sail. Sail artisan make model, and the model name is going to be photo. And with that, I want to create a migration, a factory. We will use the factory when we write first tests, because Cyrus behind the scenes wants to use the factory to build models for us, but for now we need the model, we need the migration, we need the controller. That should be a resource controller again, I guess. Let's try like that. I forgot the seeder. Okay, so we got the migration, and let's see what we got inside the migrations folder. that should be, I mean, pretty much same that was before with the other releases. So we've got this one, so we've got photos, let's say table photo URL. That's gonna be our column name, or better photo path. And could it be nullable? Well, no, because she wants to upload photos, so she needs to fill this one. And then let's put a quick description. And it's going to be text. Maybe text it's too much. We will see later. And that's going to be photo description. Instead of repeating photos, we could just say path and description, and let's say that it is. It's everything for now. And then we don't have a seeder. Can make one. Let's say make seeder -m for the model photo. Okay, let's wait for the seeder to appear. Make seed, I guess. Seeder. Maybe it's that the option flag. Model doesn't exist. Let's check. Make seeder. So let's check the commands. Since I can't remember the correct one. I'm doing this every day and every time I keep forgetting everything. Let's make seeder, man. That's correct. So I'll make seeder. Maybe it's wrong, the option that it just passed. Make seeder. So it has no class. Yeah, it has no model option. So right. So we call it photo seeder. We need to import manually the model inside the seeder. It would be useful to have a model to associate straight away to the seeder. But anyway, so we've got this one ready. So we can use, can we still use figure? I think so. Why not? The figure generator as figure. Next, we inject the figure here. Next, let's create how many photos? Let's create for now a bunch of photos from figure by using its URL. Then we will change the implementation later on. But for now, let's do a for loop and say 10 photos and say like photo is equal new photo. Let's see if it finds the model. I think so. Next, say photo path, which is going to be figure and then image URL, and we can leave the default, yeah, as it is, it's fine. Then photo description is going to be equal to figure paragraphs. and we say 3 paragraphs. Well, 2 it's fine. And then I want the text as a string. So it's 2. Okay, and then we save the photo. Right, let's see now. Let's run the migration and the seeder, and later the seeder. Migrate, and then we add the seeder. I'm doing this because I want to see how to pass data to my Vue component and how to use it inside the Vue component. So Sail artisan db feed, and then we pass the class option and say photo seeder, see if it seeds the database. If it works, we should be able from here get photos. So this should be the model, the component, and then we should be able to see all photos. Can we try and dump the bug right here? And see what happens when we visit this page. I'm expecting to see the dump the bug, but it is not. Call to undefined function ddd, right? Why is this no longer available here? Did you save? Yeah. Let's try with the time dump. Class photo not found. Okay, we got different error. Where it is? Class photo not found. Where? Yeah, okay. We haven't got the photo class imported here. Now we should be able to see this. Yeah, okay, we got 10 items and each item has attributes, the path, the description, and the ID and created that, etc. Okay, that's fine. So far, nothing changed really. Not that much except the Jetstram authentication. Now let's see if inside here we can pass these photos, and what I'm expecting is to have props called photos inside my photos component. So here I would expect to have some data as a props without doing anything else. Let's check this page if it's the case. So let's check photos and let's see if we have something inside the prop. Okay, we got the Vue tab. It's Vue3, so it's gonna be the second tab. And then we got photos, and inside props we only have can login and can register. Then we have error, Jetstream, flash, photos. Here we have them. Oh my god, that's crazy. That's so cool, guys. Because now what I can do is just do a for loop. I got also a user object with all my data, Serena, and name, the profile photo path, and everything else has an attribute. Okay, how do I get that? I would say I just need to do photos. Let's see, otherwise I will check the documentation. So if I do a section here, and then inside this section I do a before, well, no, inside this section, let's say class, photos, and then in here, let's do a div with an idea of card, photo, card, and that's it. Before and do photo in photos, and then I would expect to be able to do something like that. Photo path, like so we do img, and then we say photo dot path. We need to use the vbind so that this compiles to the actual JavaScript code. Let's see if we got something onto the screen. It would be amazing if it works just like that. Because it saves me so much time, but there is something missing. Fail to load resource, connection refused, and then we got this error here. I'm not sure what it is. What's happening? Maybe, am I wrong? I might remember something that we could do, like page props. Let's check the dogs. So we should be looking at pages, I think. Asset pages. Creating pages, user.name. Well, props user object. Okay, but from somewhere we should pass this data to the view. So user.props, where it is? Let's check for routing. Okay, it is using map for whatever reason, but how do I access that? I remember that this was somewhere, maybe here, users, okay, then render and then pass the users to this variable, and that's what I've done. But then how do you get that? Users.view, and it says just like that. Users in users. And then we should add the key. Maybe it's the key that is wrong. And maybe it's not compiling because of the key. I don't know. So that's not the right one. So that should be what I put before. So for photo in photos, maybe it's something wrong with the terminal, but let's see, for photo in photos, and let's add the key. And say photo ID. Is everything started? So we need to compile because it is not compiling. I guess I have some problem with the terminal right now. Let's maybe pause quickly the video and see what's happening. Okay, computer is back up and running, and I think I figured out why the all the photos are not showing up on the page. So the thing that we should do, despite the attributes is makes available all the collection, this collection of posts to the actual component, we need to pass also props. I think like that. Where is it? Yeah, we do have a list of posts, but here under the attributes, instead, if we use the prop like that, we have photos. So we could do photos is equal to an array. That might work. Let's see. Refresh the page. Nope, it's not working. Why is that? Photos, let's see, resources. Yes. We got few errors up here. Photos 21. Length mismatched, 1 to the K. I don't know what these errors are now, but I know that these are the photos that we just uploaded onto the website via the database header. So it is actually working, but I need to pass this photo array here. So the photos should be also passed as a props. Then it is made available to the template and it renders everything up to the screen. But we do have few errors, so we will figure it out maybe in the next episode, maybe in the next live coding. And for now, that's it. I'll see you tomorrow, guys. Cheers.